Ironically, even though there's an actual DC movie in theaters right now, not a lot of people are talking about it, quite frankly. It just barely creeped over with two big holidays, basically, National Theater Day and Labor Day. Blue Beetle just passed Shazam's domestic box office. Unfortunately, it's an international flop that probably will end up somewhere around $140 million worldwide. But it's not the biggest story in DC. Instead, it's about James Gunn. Now, wake me if you've heard this before. James Gunn controversy over old social media posts. Now, this time it has nothing to do with weird degenerate shit or jokes or whatever. Instead, it has to do with his opinions on movies 11 years ago. But when you think about it, and the movies in question, it kind of plays a role in his current job. Batman movies are what James Gunn was talking about 11 years ago on his Facebook. And you can see here, no wonder James Gunn loved The Flash so much. This is James Gunn's 11-year-old Facebook page, which has since been hidden. Can't see it anymore. We're going to get into that. But look at what it says here. Sean, Keaton did have a ridiculous voice. That said, I'd rather put up with a ridiculous voice than with the horrible action sequences and acting barely worthy of the Batman TV show. B, I have no idea you can think that Burton Batman has more similarities with Moore or Miller's Batman and Joker than Nolan's does. And listen, I have problems with both of Nolan's films. I don't think either one is a classic, and I don't even really think Batman Begins is good, but they're far superior to the first Batman. C, none of your defenses get by the fact that despite being the first cinematic dark take on Batman, so what? Stallone's Judge Dredd's first dark take. The movie is awful. Oh yeah, and Jack Nicholson as the Joker is Jack Nicholson in The Shining with shitty clown makeup. Fuck you, everyone involved with that travesty. The Tim Burton Batman is poorly written. The soundtrack is the worst work of everyone involved and is absolutely one of the most boring films ever. Not only that, but the reveal the Joker is the killer of Bruce Wayne's parents spits in the face of Batman's origin and is nullification of the bottomless thirst for vengeance that drives Batman. It pretends not to be campy, but is completely so. And on top of everything, the dark creature of the night can't even move his fucking neck. Give me a fucking break. It's ridiculous, awful. Burton's Planet of the Apes is genius in comparison. Now, normally, I don't think that this would be very big news, somebody's random take from 11 years ago on movies. But when you're now the guy that's making all the decisions for DC, including what you're going to do with Batman going forward. Oh, and by the way, the Michael Keaton Batman that you were just shitting on, James Gunn is the one who made the decision to change the ending to The Flash, to kill off Michael Keaton's Batman, to not have him appear at the end, to essentially erase him permanently from the DC universe. That's the guy that made the decision. What's your take on these comments?
Man, this is a tough one, man. This is a tough one because obviously I disagree with everything James Gunn said in these comments. Batman 89 to this day still holds up incredibly well. The soundtrack is incredible.
Yeah,
I love Batman. I love Batman 89. Obviously, I love Batman Begins. To me, this is just nerd talk. It's just nerd. Like, it's just what anybody, we all talk shit. And I've had 1,000 discussions on Facebook that might change. My views have evolved over the years.
Yeah, exactly.
Shit are changed. So it's like, I get that people are probably mad about this because he is now overseeing everything. I, in good conscience, can't I can't be mad that the dude's arguing like any other fucking nerd on the internet. We talk about this stuff. I've said some horrible things about other movies in the past, or maybe I said great things about them in the past that I don't look at it and have that same opinion. I don't know, man. To me, I guess I'm just happy that he has cared about this stuff in the past to have a take like that. That's how I look at it. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, horrible takes in my terrible. I disagree with everything he said.
Well, the takes in I don't care that he has a different opinion. However, I do think, since this is there, I think fans have the right to ask, is this, still your opinion? Do you still feel that way? What you have to ask is, how does this opinion shape the future of the DC universe?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When it's the guy who is now in charge of that and will be in charge of the depiction of Batman going forward, I do think it's relevant, at least, to ask questions about it. Now, after this happened, because I was able to go to it was James Gunn's profile. Some people were trying to say it wasn't. It absolutely was his personal Facebook that has since, this is what you get when you go to it now. This content isn't available right now. When this happens, it's usually because the owner only shared it with a small group of people, changed who can see it, or it's been deleted. All the news after that happened, hey, James Gunn deletes Facebook account, James Gunn deactivates Facebook account. James Gunn came out and gave a clarification. He debunks Facebook deactivation. He put out an Instagram post that showed that because either someone or himself tried to access the Facebook account, he got locked out, and that's why it wasn't public. But he's yet to say anything about the comments in and of themselves. I just think it's funny that even with a movie in theaters, this is the biggest DC story out there right now.
I know.
Once again, James Gunn's old social media posts are coming back to bite him in the ass. And it's weird because, again, I normally wouldn't give two shits about it. But I think when you're in that position, when you're the architect of the future of the DC universe, and maybe some of these opinions are the reason you changed some shit in The Flash and decided instead of Keaton coming at the end, you decided the George Clooney bullshit that they did. I think it's relevant when it's public to ask the questions about how he feels about those characters and those depictions.
I
and if it's going
definitely
to
think
shape the future.
I definitely think it's relevant to ask. It's just hard. It's hard. Like for me, I just look at it and go, at least the guy showed some level of passion and interest in DC and Batman and superheroes, all these years ago, even though I greatly disagree with it.